Hello everyone, thank you for watching this video. I'm really excited to bring you engaging and informative content. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Ahmad Jainul. I want to share my summary article and ideas with all of you. This is the title of the article that I will discuss. There are 10 articles that I will summarize in this video. Without further ado, let me explain all of the article. The first article is a case study of EFL teacher scaffolding of an ISD learner shared reading with a storybook apps. The general problem area of this study is lack of understanding of how EFL teacher can effectively scaffold shared reading experiences with a storybooks app for ASD learners. The author intends to discuss the result of their study investigating an EFL teacher's scaffolding behavior during shared reading activities with an ASD learner using a storybook app, and the implication of their findings for addressing the gap in research on effective practices for teaching English to ASD learners, contributing to the literature on figurative theory of scaffolding and encouraging further research on teacher scaffolding behavior. The study found that the co-occurrence of these three types of scaffolding was high and occurred simultaneously during shared story activities. The study also found that the ASD learners' IQ and ASD characteristics were the leading causes of repeated instruction, example, and clues during shared reading experiences. And the second one is challenges and strategies used by English teachers in teaching English language skills to young learners. The general problem area of this study is the challenges encountered by English teachers in teaching English as a foreign language to young learners in Indonesia. The author intends to discuss the specific challenges that English teachers face in teaching English as a foreign language to young learners in Indonesia. The author may also discuss the strategies that the teachers use to overcome these challenges and provide effective language instruction for young learners. The reason author conducted this study is to investigate the challenges faced by English teachers in teaching English to young learners during their critical period, who require special attention and innovative teaching methods. The study found that the young learners had no difficulty with listening, but faced challenges in speaking, reading, and writing skills. Speaking was hindered by signage and lack of time, reading by limited vocabulary, and writing by unfamiliarity with English words. Motivation of young learners was unpredictable too. The third one is the retrospective case study of EFL's instruction in elementary school, a critical language policy perspective. The general problem area of this study is the implementation of English language learning in Indonesia, particularly at the elementary school level. The authors intends to discuss the implementation of English language learning in Indonesia, particularly at the elementary school level, and the challenges faced in teaching English to young learners. The purpose is to highlight the diverse implementation of English language education, the impact of the current curriculum on English language teaching, and the challenges faced by teachers in developing English curricula, syllabuses, and teaching materials. And the study found that despite an unclear policy, most elementary schools in the research side include English as a extracurricular subjects due to various reasons, such as the international status of English and societal demand. The fourth is critical thinking in ELT. Indonesian teachers' understanding and practice 10 years down the track. The general problem area of this research is to investigate the understanding of English teacher in Indonesia about the concept of critical thinking and its implementation in the classroom context. This is done because although the Indonesian government has encouraged teachers to improve students' critical thinking skills over the past decade, Some studies indicate that students' critical thinking abilities in Indonesia still lag behind other countries. Therefore, this research was conducted to explore whether this difference could be caused by the limited understanding of the teachers about the concept of critical thinking and to provide recommendation for improving education and teaching methods in Indonesia. The study showed that English language teachers in Indonesia have limited knowledge about the critical thinking, which affects how they teach and assist their students. It is important to promote critical thinking more in NLT and improve teachers' knowledge and practice to enhance students' critical thinking skills. Teachers need more education about critical thinking to help improve their students' abilities. And the fifth is a technology inclusion in English teaching and learning, a case study in a high and low performing madrasah aliyah in Indonesia. The general problem area of this study is the use of technology, specifically mobile technology, and the teaching and learning environment, and it highlights the benefits of mobile technology for teachers and students, including virtual learning and pedagogical transformation. The text also mentioned the increasing popularity of mobile technology in Indonesia schools and the potential for it to improve student engagement in learning. However, the text also identifies some schools that avoid using mobile learning due to policies that prohibit technology use. The study found that mobile technology is essential in supporting teaching and learning in a school, as it enables easier access to learning sources. The study also highlights the different proposals for which low-performing and high-performing madrasah aliyah schools use mobile devices in classroom. The sixth, refarming informative assessment practices in emergency remote teaching context of English language teaching in higher educational institution Indonesia. The general problem area of this study is the problems and challenges faced by educational institutions in Indonesia due to the COVID-19 pandemic and sudden shift to online teaching and learning. The dissatisfaction of studies and parents with a learning model is highlighted, and the role of technology in education is explored. The text also mentioned various concepts related to educational technology, such as ICT, blended learning, digital learning, distance learning, and online learning. However, the general problem of the text are not explicitly stated. The study found that in the context of English teaching in Indonesia during emergency remote teaching, ERT, students preferred formative assessment strategies such as clarifying learning outcomes, establishing learning activities that can accommodate all students, and providing effective feedback. Yeah. And the seventh is the use of smartphone English language learning apps in the process of learning English Slovak EFL students' perspective. The general problem in this study is the lack of awareness that integrating smartphones into language teaching is a challenge for the teacher, and the need to gain the deeper understanding of the proper design and use of English learning's application. This research is expected to provide valuable insight for prospective teachers in overcoming these challenges. And this research found that Slovak EFL students have different opinions about using English language learning apps, or ELA. While they generally have a positive attitude, there is room for improvement in speaking skills, making students aware that ELA can help them develop all language skills could make them more interested in using smartphone for English learning. The eighth article is suggesting critical thinking and problem-solving method into teaching English reading to EFL students in Indonesia. The general problem highlighted in the text above is the difference between the increasing demand for higher levels of English proficiency, particularly in countries where English is not the first or national language, and the lack of language competency among English learners. This problem is observed In Indonesia, where English is compulsory from secondary to university level, but many students struggle to pass English proficiency tests required to work or study abroad. The focus of this article is to address this issue, particularly in the context of reading comprehension skills, which are tested in English proficiency exam. The article shows that applying critical thinking and problem-solving methods in teaching English to EFL students can improve their reading comprehension skills. This research found that developing effective classroom learning strategies can be challenging, and teachers need to adapt their approach to suit different classroom environments and student needs. Problem solving and critical thinking are strategies recommended for teaching reading comprehension to EFL students. These strategies help activate students' prior knowledge and abilities, enhancing their decoding, understanding, and problem solving skills. And the ninth is the cognitive linguistic approach to teaching English idioms to EFL students' experimental result. The general problem discussed is the lack of effective teaching method for idioms in learning English for non-native speakers. The idiom is challenging because it has a figurative meaning that cannot be understood just by looking at the words. The traditional approach of memorizing idioms without understanding them doesn't help in the long run. In addition, learners need to develop practical language skills, not just memorize meaning. The text show that using a cognitive linguistic approach, which treats idioms as metaphors, can improve the understanding and retention of idiomatic expression for English learners. And the study found that using a cognitive linguistic approach in teaching idioms to EFL students yield positive results. And the study, two experimental groups and one control group of Vietnamese EFL students took part in learning idioms about finance. The group that received cognitive linguistic based teaching experienced significant improvement in the comprehension and use of idioms in the post-learning test. And the last of the article is the effect of using Scrabble mobile phones game to develop students' vocabulary knowledge. The general problem presented in the text is the difficulty faced by 7th grade students in learning English as a foreign language. This includes challenges related to vocabulary acquisition, the effectiveness of conventional teaching methods, and the lack of motivation to practice and apply what they have learned outside the classroom. The research found that using Scrabble mobile phone games had a positive effect on developing students' vocabulary knowledge. This means that using Scrabble mobile phone games significantly enhance students' vocabulary. English teachers are encouraged to use fun learning media like Scrabble games to help students improve their vocabulary. Students can easily access these games on their mobile devices. And the last is based on the provided summaries. The correlation among the reading texts is that they all revolve around the field of English language teaching and learning, with a specific focus on various aspects and challenges within this domain. The articles cover a range of topics including scaffolding techniques for learners with autism spectrum disorder, challenges faced by English teachers in teaching young learners, the implementation of English language education in elementary school, understanding and practicing of critical thinking in LT, the use of technology in English teaching and learning, formative assessment practices in emergency remote teaching, the use of smartphone English language learning apps suggesting critical thinking and problem solving method in teaching English, cognitive linguistic approaching to teaching idioms, and the effect of using Scrabble mobile phone games to develop vocabulary knowledge. While each article addresses different aspects within the field of English language teaching and learning, they collectively contribute to the broader understanding of effective teaching method, challenges faced by teachers and learners, and the potential use of technology in language education. Thank you for your attention and time to watch this video. I hope that the content of this presentation has provided useful and interesting information for all of you. See you soon.